Your attention is being hunted, not by one enemy you can name, but by 1,000 small invitations. One notification, one opinion, one urgent request, one more tab, one more comparison. None of them looks powerful alone. Together, they can divide a capable person into fragments. A distracted life rarely feels dramatic. It feels busy. You answer quickly, consume constantly, and finish the day exhausted without touching the work that could change your direction. The real cost is not only lost time. It is lost authorship. When everything can summon you, nothing important can command you. This is not a lesson about becoming a machine or rejecting the modern world. It is about self-mastery. The person who guards attention is not hiding from life. They are deciding which part of life deserves their force. Today we will build that decision through 6 principles. The aim is simple: to create a mind that can enter the noise, choose its mission, and return with its identity intact. The first principle is to name the throne. Every kingdom has a center of authority. Your day needs one as well. Before messages, headlines, and other people's priorities arrive, decide what deserves the best hour of your mind. Do not begin with a list of 12 tasks. Choose one central act. It might be writing the proposal, studying the difficult chapter, training, designing the system, or having the conversation you keep avoiding. Give it a sentence. If I protect one victory today, it is this. A clear throne makes smaller demands easier to judge. Many people claim they lack discipline when they actually lack hierarchy. If every task is equal, the loudest task wins. If one task is named as central, noise has to compete with a standard. Imagine an emperor receiving 50 petitions. Wisdom is not answering every voice in the order it shouts. Wisdom is knowing which decision protects the city. Your attention works the same way. A message can be real without being first. A request can matter without owning the morning. Tonight, write tomorrow's central act on paper. Make it measurable. Not work on my future, but finish the first 2 pages, send the tested proposal, or complete 40 focused minutes. When the day begins, the throne must already be occupied. The second principle is to build walls before the battle. People often wait until distraction appears and then attempt to resist it with willpower. That is like building a fortress after the cavalry is already inside. Create physical and digital distance. Put the phone outside reach. Close the tabs that do not serve the current act. Remove social applications from the home screen. Turn off notifications that do not represent a person, a danger, or a genuine responsibility. Use a separate browser profile for focused work. Make the path toward distraction slightly longer and the path toward the mission slightly shorter. These changes may feel small, but environment silently votes on behavior. A bowl placed on the table is eaten. A tab left open is checked. A phone beside the hand becomes a question the brain keeps answering. This is not weakness. A serious warrior does not prove courage by leaving every gate open. Preparation is part of strength. Choose one wall today. Perhaps messages remain closed for the first hour. Perhaps video platforms require a password stored elsewhere. Perhaps work begins in a clean room with only one document visible. Do not design a perfect fortress. Close the gate that is currently costing you the most. The third principle is to train the return, not worship the streak. You will become distracted. A sound will pull you away. A thought will lead to another tab. You may lose 10 minutes or an entire afternoon. The important skill is not never wandering. It is returning without ceremony. Most people lose more time judging the distraction than the distraction itself. They say, "I ruined the day," and then use that sentence as permission to abandon the remaining hours. That is pride disguised as disappointment. It demands a perfect performance before it will continue. Instead, use a return ritual. Notice, close, breathe, resume the next visible action. No speech against yourself. No emotional trial. The return should be so ordinary that failure cannot turn into identity. A soldier who drops a shield does not spend the battle writing an essay about the fall. They pick it up. Set a timer for 25 or 40 minutes. When you notice that you have wandered, Place a small mark on paper and return. The mark is not punishment. It is evidence that awareness is growing. At the end, count returns, not failures. 10 returns mean you practiced attention 10 times. Consistency is not an unbroken line. It is the speed with which you come back to the line. The fourth principle is to protect attention from emotional occupation. Not every distraction is entertainment. Some of the strongest distractions are unresolved conversations, imagined arguments, envy, and the desire to control how others see you. A single critical comment can sit inside the mind like an invading army. You replay it while working, answer it in imaginary scenes, and donate hours to a person who may have forgotten the moment. When emotion occupies your attention, do not pretend it is absent. Give it a defined chamber. Write what happened, what you feel, what is under your control, and what action, if any, is required. If a conversation is needed, schedule it. If no action exists, name the thought as repetition rather than problem solving. There is a difference between reflection and rumination. Reflection produces a clearer decision. Rumination repeats the same pain while calling repetition work. Try a 10-minute counsel. Set a timer. Let the concern speak honestly. Write the useful facts. Decide the next action. When the timer ends, return to the mission. The emotion may still be present, but it no longer holds the throne. You do not have to solve every feeling before acting with purpose. Sometimes purposeful action is what restores proportion. The fifth principle is to trade stimulation for depth gradually. A mind trained on constant novelty will initially experience focused work as emptiness. The page feels slow. The book feels quiet. The project offers no instant reward. This does not mean you are incapable of focus. It means your nervous system has learned a faster rhythm. Do not answer this with shame. Retrain the rhythm. Begin with bounded periods of depth followed by deliberate rest. 40 minutes of one task, then 10 minutes away from screens. Increase the focused period when it becomes stable. During rest, avoid replacing one flood with another. Walk. Stretch. Look at distance. Drink water. Let the mind become quiet enough to miss the work. Boredom is not always a signal to escape. Sometimes it is the doorway between surface attention and deeper thought. Stay for 2 minutes beyond the first urge to switch. The mind often settles after it realizes no new stimulus is coming. Think of entering a temple after a crowded market. At first, the silence feels empty. Then details emerge. Breath, light, structure, meaning. Depth has always been there. Noise simply covered it. Choose one daily depth block and protect it for 7 days. Do not measure brilliance. Measure presence. A focused hour that produces modest work is still training the instrument that will later produce exceptional work. The sixth principle is to spend attention according to identity. Techniques help, but identity decides whether they survive difficult days. Ask, what kind of person am I becoming through what I repeatedly notice? Attention is not merely a spotlight. It is construction material. What you repeatedly watch, rehearse, fear, and admire slowly becomes part of your inner architecture. If you spend hours observing outrage, your mind becomes prepared for conflict. If you study craft, your mind begins noticing quality. If you constantly compare status, your life becomes a scoreboard. If you attend to responsibility, courage, and useful work, those qualities become easier to recognize and practice. Create an attention budget. List 3 categories that deserve investment and 3 that require limits. Perhaps craft, health, and relationships receive more. Random controversy, comparison, and compulsive checking receive less. This is not a moral performance. It is resource allocation. Before consuming something, ask, what will this train me to notice? Before accepting a request, ask, what important thing will this replace? Every yes spends a piece of a life that cannot be refunded. An emperor is not powerful because he possesses unlimited gold. He is powerful when he can allocate limited gold toward what keeps the kingdom alive. Your hours are more valuable than gold because no success can purchase yesterday. Now bring the 6 principles together. Name one central act before the world names 10 for you. Build walls before distraction enters. Practice returning without self-punishment. Give emotional concerns a counsel, not a throne. Retrain depth through gradual, protected blocks. And spend attention according to the identity you want to inhabit. Here is a practical reflection for tonight. Draw 3 columns. In the first, write what received most of your attention this week. In the second, write what you claim matters most. In the third, write one change that would make those columns more honest. Do not create a dramatic new life by midnight. Choose one gate, 1 hour, and one mission. Place the phone away. Name the work. Begin before your mood votes. You may discover that focus is not the ability to feel no temptation. It is the ability to remember what matters while temptation is speaking. The world will continue asking for pieces of you. Some requests will be worthy. Many will not. Your task is not to become unreachable. Your task is to become deliberate. Protecting attention will sometimes disappoint people who benefited from your constant availability. It may expose habits you use to avoid difficult work. It may feel lonely when the crowd moves toward whatever is newest. But the reward is not simply productivity. The reward is becoming present inside your own life. A scattered mind can possess talent and still build nothing. A gathered mind can begin with little and create weight over time. So tomorrow, before the market opens and the voices arrive, sit with the central act. Guard it for one honest block. Return when you wander. Let depth become familiar again. If this channel helps you build self-mastery without empty hype, subscribe and continue the work with us. Do not give your best attention to everything. Give it to what you are willing to become.